we're in the middle of a subscription drive now on Yedidia. That's at ydydY.substack.com, ydydY.substack.com. And that's what I've been working on for, other than on the Sabbath, it's what I've been working on 24/7, just sleeping and working on that. It's difficult because nobody knows yet that I exist. And subscription is $36 a month, which is pretty high for a subscription if you don't take... If this is just entertainment, why would you possibly do it? So it takes time, but I need to today actually go and do something else. I live in a neighborhood that's not the world's safest neighborhood. And in my neighborhood, somebody was shot yesterday. And this is a person that doesn't speak any English. He speaks Spanish. My Spanish is not very good, but I've seen him often and said, hello, how are you? We've had very brief conversations. Essentially what happened is that there was an argument that, I can't do justice to something like this within a minute. And I have to keep this short. I know, otherwise people won't click on it. That's what everyone says. So the only point that you have to know is that the person who was shot was attempting to save somebody's life. The guy who was shot, Francisco, small little Spanish guy. From what country? I believe Mexico, but I'm not entirely certain. Francisco, someone who is probably homeless, and he was trying to save somebody from getting shot, and he himself got shot. So I know that nobody's going to go visit him in the hospital, so I will go visit him today in the hospital. And the reason I mentioned the subscription thing is because, well, technically I'm trying to get 1,000 subscriptions by tomorrow, which seems unlikely because right now we just got 4 subscriptions. But if I do get 1,000 by tomorrow, then I'm going to go right away to Egypt, basically to the Middle East. Depending on how many I get where I go, you can see previous videos. But I'll be going to the Middle East, attempting to solve the Middle East crisis. Well, once I'm here in this neighborhood, I ought to attempt to solve this crisis. There's so many fucking elements to it, and I know that I'm wearing tefillin, and you should know that the tefillin that I'm wearing, unlike anyone else who wears tefillin, and I dare someone to stand up and say otherwise for themselves, for the first 10 years of my wearing tefillin, I did not sit down with my tefillin on. So kindly don't tell me what I can say and what I can't say with my tefillin on. Yeah. Without subscribers, I can't do anything. But what I was going to say is that everyone who subscribes today, I will give half of, and first of all, you have a 7-day trial period. Nonetheless, I'll cover it myself up front, and I will give half of the first month of everybody who subscribes today to Francisco, who certainly deserves it, who doesn't have any money at all. Would I give him all? Of course I would give him all. But you know what? You know how much money I have? I have 68 cents. Really? I know it seems crazy, and you can't relate to someone like, why am I not freaking out, etc. Why am I not going robbing old ladies, whatever? It is what it is. Yeah, so I'm not allowed to. Those are the rules. I'm not allowed to. I have to. The most that I'm allowed to do is to give them 50% from everyone who subscribes today. If you're already a subscriber and you want to help him out, then over there as well, I'm sorry to say, I'm only allowed to give him 50%. But you can, I'll put here in the link, PayPal or whatever else. This is wrong. I feel like it's so wrong what I'm doing right now. Not because it's wrong to take 50%. No, it's wrong to be willing. I don't know, my friends. Try not to be too moral. You end up broke. Okay, I'm going to put this up as it is, as ridiculous as it is. And if anybody wants to ask me anything, the comments will be on. I'm going to go now and try to find out where Francisco is and which hospital to go and see him. You know, there was one little news story. They didn't catch the guy. Not only didn't they catch the guy, by the way, the police, but the police left the store and told them to keep the store open because usually the shooter, the killer, usually comes back. They didn't succeed in killing someone, but usually they come back. So keep it open. Maybe we'll get lucky and I'll come back and you can call us. Really, that's how crime is dealt with in poor neighborhoods. In America. And then we're surprised that poor people in America commit crimes. Why wouldn't they? You would too. I swear you would. I swear you would if you were in their shoes. The fact that I probably should too. The fact that I don't is not necessarily to my credit. Yeah, so they don't care about the people who work there, the police, the whole thing, no one gives a damn. No one gives a damn. The guy who did the shooting, why did he do the shooting? Well, he's got nothing too. He hasn't been caught. He's out in this neighborhood. He's got nothing too. Basically, from my understanding, is that he would often go into the store, the only store that's open 24 hours in this area, and he would steal a beer. And the shop owners, let him do it. But it gets annoying after a while. And apparently, the guy who was there behind the counter screamed at him and said, "Come on, don't do that, And the guy said, "I'll show you." While he couldn't afford a beer, he could afford a gun. Because you know what? In some situations, it's more important to have a gun than to have fluids. This is your country, presumably, for many of you. This is your society. We completely have closed our eyes to these people. Completely. Completely. You know why? We let the super wealthy, who never encountered these people except as slaves, we let the super wealthy dictate what happens over here with these folk. And it just divide and conquer, everyone killing everyone else. Just hell. Just hell. And we're all responsible. There's no escape. You are responsible. We're all responsible for this. Because we haven't even tried to fix it. We haven't talked to them. I'm one guy. I do talk. And you know why I have to take half the money? Because otherwise people like me go extinct. That's why. Because I have attempted only trying to help other people, not caring for myself and assuming that I'll be okay. But you know what? I've had to steal food to stay alive myself. I have. How fucked up is that? That a person like me can go extinct in this world. How fucked up is that? But it isn't for my sake, whatever. I don't care. I don't care. I have pretty high self-esteem. If I was living on the street, I'd probably still have pretty high self-esteem. That matters more, and I still enjoy life. It's easy to enjoy life. But you know what I'm not? Effective. You know what I'm not, as long as I'm impoverished? Efficient, capable of doing anything. Capable of being heard, capable of getting around. I spoke to somebody I know in Jerusalem. He has some stupid page. He has a page, he spreads pseudo-Jewish values. None of his kids are religious. He spreads his Jewish values. He's got 50 people working for him. Couldn't even recommend somebody for me to hire. I asked him, just recommend someone, forget, what's the first thing I do if I'm trying to fundraise for someone to hire? You know this thing. You've got a huge multi-million-dollar thingy. No, he doesn't want to help. He's the establishment. He's the goddamn establishment. He thinks he's doing good work. He does. He does. Okay. The description and comment here will just be where you can subscribe. Obviously, do what you want. But if you can see, if you subscribe for the 7-day trial, you'll get access to the complete Substack archives. And also to everything on YouTube right now is still available to everybody. But very soon it will not be. But in any case, so Substack, you get the link there for subscribing. And I guess I'll also put down Patreon, PayPal, a few other things. And anything that is not a subscription, Patreon is subscription and Substack is subscription. For the same thing. You get the same thing either way. The other ones are, I think, input whatever amount you want. And this guy who got himself shot in the belly, like I said, he'll only get half. I will take the other half. I should swear that I'll do something terrible with some of the money. Because that's the only way people will give. It really is. Don't get me wrong. People do give for pity reasons and whatever else. But people, to really be into it. In other words, I don't want anyone to give for any kind of pity reasons. Not to me and not to him either. Because I don't want to be I don't want to be a middleman for that. I really don't. But for someone to be excited about it, you have to believe that we're changing the world. And you know what? People have a hard time believing they're changing the world. I once raised, within 2 days, I raised about $5,000 to get me to Brazil in order to sneak into the final game of the World Cup. And I said, any extra money I will spend on cocaine and hookers. We'll leave it aside exactly whether I had extra money or not. But let's just say that as much as I promised to do, I did do. And I did sneak into the final game of the World Cup. For no reason. I don't care about the World Cup, and that was my selling point. My selling point was, why am I going to Brazil? Because I don't care to go to Brazil. Why am I going to sneak into the World Cup? Because I don't care about it anyway. So why not? What the hell? People really get excited about what the hell. This is a what the hell. This is something that I'm not doing out of a sense of responsibility. You know what our sense of responsibility is to each other? None. None. Nobody can feel you. When you die, nobody else feels it. None. This is something fun to do for the world. Because then you will have, well, for yourself, we'll have a safer world, etc., etc. The world would be so much better if I had influence. I think everybody who has encountered me is familiar with that. I hope. Not everybody, but close enough. Anyways, yeah, that's this video. Anyway, now I got to go to the hospital. I just got to upload this and, like I said, put in the links over there. And everyone who subscribes today, oh, by the way, everyone who subscribes today will also get a free copy of my 15-hour course or shows on exotic Jewish history, where we talk about the Jews of China, of India, Ethiopia, Khazaria, the Samaritans, the Karaites, the Sabbateans, Israeli politics over the course of the last 25 years, all different kinds of things in that course on exotic Jewish history. You'll get that for free. Normally it's been selling for $119 or $129, I forgot, but that's what it sells for otherwise online. And like I said, 50% of the first month will go to Francisco, who took a bullet to save someone else, and I promise you that nobody but us gives a damn.